Hello, my name is Ana Avila, and I will be presenting my personal persuasive speech over the Obamacare Act that was implemented as of the beginning of this year. Um, I just wanted to touch up a little bit. The reason I chose this topic was because of whenever my husband and I had to file our taxes this year. Um, as everyone knew that the new Obamacare Act had to be imposed, um, we each had to either have insurance or pay a fine. That's where my curiosity opened up, as in, why do we have to pay a fine for something that we choose not to accept? And that's where I wanted to look a little deeper into this Obamacare Act. And under my specific purpose, I wrote in there, I am against, I am for the removal of the Obamacare Act, for the being that this Obamacare Act, this is my thesis statement, the Obamacare program is the beginning of the infringement on the Constitution and our Bill of Rights. Now, analyzing this a little bit makes me think, if we start to play with our Bill of Rights, with our constitutional rights, we run into a certain situation to where we can turn into crossing the fine line between a democratic and a communistic America. Now, where do we want to go with this? I'm not a law student, but bear with me on this. I did a little bit of research, and on the Obamacare Act, according to the WND website, there's several controversial lawsuits that were presented due to a case brought by the Pacific Legal Foundation in using the court's own terminology to argue Obamacare is constitutionally invalid. There are irregularities with the proposal of the bill. There are certain protocols that had not been fulfilled properly. Now, my question on that would be, how is it that those came about? And under that same website, I was looking under the Pacific Legal Foundations, along with other American thinkers, lawyers, and laymen, have begun to express interest into why this imposes an unnecessary tax that we as Americans have to pay for health care that we choose not to accept. Not all of us have the money, have the resources to be able to take on a reasonable or a cheap, we could say, form of healthcare. The Obamacare, and this is where I want to express my deep feeling on the Obamacare program, is the beginning of the infringement on the Constitution and our Bill of Rights. Now let's think about it a little bit. Let's analyze our governmental protocols and see what flaws it may have run into. A tax bill must begin in the House of Representatives, not in the Senate. I was looking in on that same website, the WND. It brought up some really interesting comments to where the bills have to begin, the taxation bills must begin within the House of Representatives, except the irregularity there is that it was proposed as a bill of revenue, but was amended, was changed within the Senate. That was the difference, where it became, they masked it as if it was a tax instead of a forceful bill of revenue, so to speak, for government. Now, in this, I feel like we need our freedom to choose healthcare and not a forceful, incomplete healthcare. All Americans are required to have a healthcare. Why? I thought that we lived in a free America. According to Amendment 7, the excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. You may think, oh, what is she trying to get at? Our nation is founded on freedom to choose. That's why our nation is separated from Europe in the first place, to where we choose to do these things. We can see this as, first, we're stripped of our freedoms to choose to do certain things, to accept health care, to go to work and pay taxes and stuff like that. But where is it going to end? First, they force us to take health care. Then they may take away our gun control a lot more, to where we have to give up our arms, and that's going to be taking a little bit more of our freedoms, of our personal freedoms. We as Americans have the power to oppose governmental imposition of anonymous laws or taxes. My proposal is to remove the Obamacare Act, for the respect that I have for those that abide by the rules of the government. But once there are irregularities, red flags kind of fly out there. It will remove an unnecessary tax that masks a revenue builder in government. And like I said, that's an irregularity that I saw. I feel like we need to give the power in government, once again, return it to us, the people. We, the people, have a voice. We have our freedom to choose to purchase health care. We have freedom to choose to do what we need to do for the better of our own families. People of all races, genders, economic standings will be able to keep a little more money in their pockets. And I know that this is going to be for our benefit more than the benefit of the government. We can get out of this taxation if we decide to stand up and say, okay, enough. And I ask that we consider this and look into our future. What is it that lies ahead? What is it that we want for us, for our families, for our future generations? Our future's in our hands. Let's decide how we want to shape it. Like I said, Obamacare Act is unnecessary and should be voluntary. If somebody wants to take it, great. But an infringement on our rights could cost us our freedoms. Let's think about it. Let's look at our future. Let's look back at America then, America now, and what's America going to look like tomorrow. Thanks for your time. Bye.